what Andrea and Brad in particular like about the whole tiny home movement. So you were saying,
I love everything about it, to be honest. But I follow all these tiny home communities on Facebook. I mean, you look at some of these are like 75, 80 grand. Imagine just plopping that down in a nice little subdivision area. I mean, people would go wild for that.
I agree.
And it's affordable. I mean, I hate the fact that the rental market is so insane. You know, I have two kids now, well, one going into college, one in college. I mean, they can't afford, any of this.
no,
I look at, we do like the monthly bill. We do have an apartment for one of them. But her monthly nut is like $3,000 plus, and they don't make they don't make the money that they need to right out of college or in college. So, I mean, I think something like that. And we look at a ton of 55 plus communities for my older folks. There's such a demand for affordable housing, and the rental market is just out of this world. But something cool and unique, we don't have that around here.
You're right.
I'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Well, what would it take?
I think you need first of all, you need a good sized piece of land, which is not easy to get around here to make it cost effective.
Yep.
And then you'd have to figure out a way to put some infrastructure in there.
Yep.
And then I would say, you kind of cap it off, right? So you've got an electric meter for each lot. Because again, if we're using mobile homes, they're taking title to the home itself.
Exactly.
So it's kind of interesting. Or do you lease? Do you take title? Do you buy these mobile homes?
There's so many logistics with it, right? Exactly. You got to see what makes the most sense. But you could have their own gas, their own electric. We could keep the land just like, I'm doing over in Shrewsbury. I mean, there's a million things, but I just think something unique, something needs to give in this whole real estate world. So I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
See, I can get my head around living in a single wide, double wide. I don't care how wide, but I don't want to have neighbors, and that's all about me.
Yeah.
I want that on a plot of land. I used to have a friend of mine that had 40 acres up in Washburn, Maine.
Amazing.
And a single wide on the front of it. And
just 40 acres around him?
Yeah.
And no one? That's awesome.
No visible neighbors.
Okay.
Now, he stayed close enough to the road that he wouldn't have to plow like 10 miles to get out because it's Maine and it was bad.
Yeah.
And Washburn is next to Caribou. They might get a little snow there.
Just a little bit.
But it was not a bad way to live. Now, honestly, when he was selling, he says, Kelley, why don't you buy this thing? I'll sell it to you. I'll give you a good price. So I went and talked to my financial advisor.
Yeah.
And my financial advisor, who now doesn't recall the conversation,
oh boy,
my financial advisor said, no. He says, you're an outgoing person. Unless you're into snow sports, skiing,
snowshoeing.
Yeah. He says, you're going to kill yourself up there. You're just not going to like it. You're going to be miserable.
You say you don't want neighbors, but I feel like that would be a little lonely. You should have bought that little island in Shrewsbury. Do you remember that was for sale a while ago? Should have bought that. Live right in the center of Lake Quincy.
Why not?
Listen, that's why I said about buying this. Why not? We all come around this world once. We work our asses off. Let's see something for it. My money's not just going to sit in a bank.
That's right.
So I want to tune back in.
Okay.
A year from now.
You heard it here first. Listen. He knows me. If I say something, I will leave no stone unturned to get it done.
I think you might be on.
No. Tune back in a year from now and talk about your experience.
Okay.
Owning your mobile home, paying a fee to someone.
Yep.
Complaining that they don't really mow the grass very well and the plowing isn't because.
Luckily, I know the good thing is. Luckily, I know the person that managed the whole property, so I make a little phone call, and he says, "Don't worry, Andrea, I got it, Andrea, we're good," and it gets done.
Oh my God!
Or I'll bring my mower over and do it myself instead of complaining. And you know I will.
It doesn't work that way. I lived in a condo, okay?
Yeah.
And you start doing stuff on your own, which is the sensible thing to do, in my opinion, rather than complaining.
Yeah.
And then the association gets very concerned.
But that's the difference, again, about a mobile home community and a condo.
It's the same idea.
No, not really, because
mobile home community is owned by a person.
Right. And you are your main. It's like your own little single family. You have to keep up your whole area. I mean, it's actually very well maintained too. I've had no desire to own a condo. Zero. I lived in a townhouse. No desire. I like being alone in my own little world.
No neighbors. I like it.
Listen, that's where I live now. We have acres and acres of woods and a couple neighbors that we can barely see. It's amazing. I see people all day and then I go home.
And 2 dogs.
And 2 beauties. Yeah. My babies. And then all the rest is good in the world.
Brad, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I mean, when we looked at, when we downsized, we looked at the whole condominium living thing and said, okay, the idea is great. No maintenance. I was sick of doing the lawn, shoveling the driveway, and this will be great. And then I said, yeah, but what about the neighbor?
You get one bad neighbor, forget it.
I'll never forget. So when my kids were little, we went down and visited my wife's aunt on the Cape, and I was taking the kids to the pool. I was walking across to the pool area, and one of the residents there reported me because I didn't have a shirt on.
Stop it.
At which point I said, I can never live in a condominium. Too many people.
I
couldn't even make a call. It became, some kind of another scene. You're wandering around without a shirt on. What's going on?
But it is true. You get that one person that's just bored and just wants to start. Like I lived in a townhouse and I had awesome neighbors, thank God. Because if I didn't, you're stuck there.
Right.
Every day you go out in the yard, the person's right there. Like, I don't want to be attached to somebody.
Right.
So I like how, you want to put a fence up, put a fence up.
Exactly.
You want some privacy? Great. So I mean, I think something like that, people would go crazy for.
Yeah. I mean, some people love it. They love that whole community living, and this is great. I'll meet you on the tennis court and the gym, and that's totally cool, and I respect that.
Yep.
But for me, it was I was like, you know what? I want to sit in my backyard. I want to unwind, from a stressful day, and just
not have to entertain.
And not have to entertain. Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. I'm sure he agrees too. He's already thinking about his island next.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll take a boat. We'll come visit you.
That's fine. If I'm on my island, I may not want to put down the dock.
Exactly. We'll be like, hello?
Gary will be out there loading his shotgun. Get away! Private property!
Get off
They're on my island!
Yeah, get off my lawn. It's wet. All right. Thanks for participating.
You got it.
Thank you.